Good evening and welcome in to Langhorst Field here on the campus of Elmhurst College, where tonight it's the CCL Red Division opener for the St. Joseph Chargers as they take on Chicago Hope Academy. The Chargers come into this game at 2-1, while Chicago Hope is undefeated at 3-0. Hello, everybody. I'm Connor Klingen, and thank you for joining me tonight on Arena Sportsnet Chicago. This should be a good one, and Coach Rich Petrosky predicted this game could decide the CCL Red Division. It is the first season for Chicago Hope in this conference. After last season, they went 9-2, made it all the way to the third round of the Class 2A playoffs, where they actually lost there 91-70. And yes, that was a football score. And now we will have our opening prayer.
Heavenly Father, be with these young athletes as they test their physical skills. Let them play well, but fairly. Let competition make them strong, but never hostile. Grant them the strength to best their opponent and lead them to always help the opponent up. Grant them moments to rejoice, but not in the adversity of others. Help them stay safe from injury, both physical and emotional. Help them to learn something that matters once the game is over. Help them remember that sports are just games. If they know victory, allow them to be happy. If they are denied, keep them from envy. If through athletics they set an example, let it be a good one. In the name of your Son, Jesus. St. John Baptist de La Salle, St. Joseph, live Jesus in our hearts. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Please remain standing as we honor our country with the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Play ball.
And that will do it for the national anthem. Just about ready to play football here from Langhorst Field in what should be a great battle between two teams vying for the CCL Red Division Championship. Now, granted, this is the first conference game of the season for St. Joseph, so there is time to rebound in the case of a loss. But the players are pumped up. Talking to Coach Rich Petrosky last night, they are ready for this game. They've had this game circled on the calendar since February. It's all they've been talking about, Chicago Hope, because they know not only could they be facing the Eagles here in CCL Red play, but possibly down the road in the playoffs as well. This was a team that last season St. Joseph would have played had they advanced to the third round of the Class 2A IHSA playoffs. And at this time, we'd like to remind you that tonight's game is brought to you by Meatheads in Elmhurst. Don't forget to stop by Meatheads at 143 North York Street and enjoy our fast casual family restaurant that serves fresh experiences. Meatheads at 143 North York Street in Elmhurst. Chargers just about ready to kick off to Chicago Hope. It looks like LaFabian Fain is back deep for the Eagles. along with Nick White. And Zach Ford coming out of the field for the kickoff. The Chargers did add a new place kicker in Lucas Tank Hansen, who came on last week and made an extra point. But Zach Ford will still be handling the kickoffs, at least for the opening kickoff of the ball game. The Chicago Hope offense has been high scoring early in the season, so it'll be a tough test for the Chargers as the Eagles will start with possession in this ball game. Ford setting the coverage team up for the Chargers. Having to maybe bring out a new tee. And it looks like they have replaced that one. Maybe a faulty tee out there on the 40-yard line. So a slight delay to the start of this ball game. It's now past 7:45. It was scheduled for a 7:30 start, but the JV game between St. Joseph's and St. Pat's ran a little bit long, and that's why we're having the later start. But Ford is ready to kick it off, and here is the boot. It's a high kick on the near sideline. It will be caught at about the 20-yard line by Campbell. Campbell has a little bit of space all the way up to the 30, and he is brought down just shy of the 35-yard line of Chicago Hope. So it'll be solid starting field position for the Eagles as Neil Campbell, the sophomore, did a nice job on that return. So the Eagles start at their own 34. A 9-2 season last year for Hope, but this is their first year in the CCL Red. Head coach Matt Kelly excited about the challenge of joining the CCL, a conference with so much prestige, tradition, and so many talented teams. Eagles will start off in the shotgun with 5 wide out there. They send a man in motion, a little bit of a fake sweep there from quarterback Trevor Land, and he is brought down for a loss. Land, the starting quarterback for the Eagles there on a little bit of a read option, but it was very delayed, and it made it an easy stop for the Chargers defense. 2nd and 10 from the 34. Man comes in motion again. They fake the handoff to him. Land will throw. It's off the hands and nearly intercepted by Jesse McDonald near the first down marker. So it'll be 3rd down and 10. So a good opportunity for St. Joe to force a 3-and-out on the first possession of the ball game. Land in the shotgun, 4 receivers wide, 1 man in the backfield with him. 2 to each side for Land, and the Chargers may have been drawn off sides there. We'll see if that is indeed the call. And it is encroachment. 3rd down and 5, so the Chargers give a gift to the Eagles there as they were facing 3rd and 10. A more manageable 3rd and 5 now. From the 39-yard line of Chicago Hope. Land in at quarterback, trips to his right. 1 receiver to the left, 1 man in the backfield with him. Man coming in motion. Land will hand it off to him on the sweep, and he's got a little bit of space. He has the first down and more at the 50. Trying to break tackles. He's all the way to about the 40-yard line of St. Joseph.
Fabian Fain on the carry, taken down by Zion Timms, but not before an Eagles first down.
It was LaFabian Fain on the carry there for Hope. And he brought the Eagles all the way to the 41-yard line of St. Joe. 11 minutes remaining. 1st and 10 Eagles. Trips to the right. 1 receiver to the left. He comes in motion. They'll hand it off to him. Yes, they will indeed. It was a long hold there from quarterback Trevor Land, but Neil Campbell eventually took it on the option. And he is near a first down. It'll actually be 2nd down and 4 here from the 35-yard line of St. Joseph. Land at quarterback. Empty backfield for the Eagles outside of the QB, but they send a man in motion as they've been doing quite a bit, and it's stuffed. No, wait a minute. Land pulls it out, and he has room. A flag is thrown as Land fell at about the 25-yard line. That would be good for a first down, but this could be coming back. Boy, this read option is giving fits to the St. Joseph defense so far because Trevor Land has shown an incredible ability to hold on to the ball till the last possible moment. And the Chargers defense just isn't sure whether he's going to take it on the QB keeper or give it to one of his running backs. So it'll still be second down, but the football is being marched back. It'll be about second down and 14 here as the Eagles remain in the shotgun. Man comes in motion. It's Campbell. They fake the handoff to him, looking to throw deep. They may have a man there, but it's overthrown.
Land goes deep for Fain down the right sideline. The pass falls incomplete.
LaFabian Fain was going down the far sideline, but it was overthrown by Trevor Land. So it'll be third down and 13 for the Eagles. Eagles have already converted one third down opportunity on this drive for first down. So another chance for a stop for the Chargers as the Eagles are at the 44-yard line of St. Joe. Land in the shotgun, one in the backfield with him, four receivers out wide. Here's the snap. Land looking to pass, facing some pressure. He'll roll out to his left, coming to the near sideline. He has first down yardage, makes a move at the 25, and he's finally brought down at the 20.
Land on the quarterback keeper gets down to
A
about
24-yard run there by Trevor Land, and he has already shown his ability as a dual-threat quarterback. Land has good size at 6'2", 195. And they are not afraid to have him run with the football. 10 minutes remaining in this first quarter. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Eagles at the 20-yard line of St. Joseph. Four receivers out wide for the Eagles. One man in the backfield. That is Eric Green with Land. They will hand it off up the middle to Green, and he stopped at the line of scrimmage. The defensive line just swallowed up Green. Looked like Kevin Johnston was in on it for the Chargers.
Eric Green on the carry, taken down by Zarel Mason.
And Malik Mason was in there as well for St. Joe. Second down and 10 for the Eagles. You can already see this is a potent offense. They do not huddle up, run that up-tempo. Both teams do that. It could be a high-scoring ball game tonight. Four receivers out wide for the Eagles. It's a second down and 10. Land takes a snap, looking to his right, rolling right, facing pressure. He may go down, and he does. He was able to get past the line of scrimmage for a gain of maybe 2 yards. He did well there not to get sacked as he was able to step up into the pocket and make it past the line of the Chargers briefly. So it'll be third down and 8. The third down on this drive for the Eagles. They've converted the first two already. Four wide receivers out wide for Hope. Land takes the snap, finds a man, and it is caught by Fain, and he is stretching for that first down. Does he have it? He does indeed. Past the first down marker to the 10-yard line.
Completed pass to Fain, tackle by Ryan Flowers, number 15.
Well, this sophomore connection has been working well for Chicago Hope as Land has been able to find Fain. So it will be first and goal from the 10-yard line for the Eagles. Four receivers out wide, one man in the backfield. The handoff is fake to Fain. Up the middle is the quarterback keeper with Trevor Land, and he's inside the 5, maybe all the way to the 2-yard line. It'll be second and goal from the 2 for Chicago Hope. Land showing so much ability running the football. Two men in the backfield with Land, three receivers out wide, and a flag is thrown. This could be an illegal motion or a false start on Chicago Hope. Or wait a minute, it could be an offside on St. Joe. They're signaling that against the Chargers.
Flag on the field, call goes against St. Joe's.
So that will move the ball half the distance to the goal. For the second time on this drive, the Chargers have gone offsides. 8 minutes remaining here in this first quarter. No score between Chicago Hope and St. Joseph, but the Eagles are threatening at about the 1-yard line, and the Chargers go offside once again. This is very reminiscent of the opening game of the season against Elmwood Park when St. Joseph went offsides on 4 consecutive plays near the goal line. This defense has just gotten very eager in this area, trying to stop the Eagles with 7:50 remaining in the first quarter. Eagles on the doorstep, 2 men in the backfield with Land, and the Chargers go offsides again. 3 consecutive plays.
Offside once again on the Chargers. Half the distance.
So as I said, somewhat reminiscent back to that Elmwood Park game when St. Joe went offsides 4 consecutive plays. This time it's been 3. They'll try to avoid it on this play as the ball cannot be moved any closer to the goal line at this point. Land takes a snap and a flag is thrown. So that is 4 straight penalties on St. Joseph.
Encroachment, St. Joe's, half the distance.
Encroachment, they'll try to move it half the distance to the goal, but I really don't think they can move it any closer. The ball is probably an inch from the goal line right now, maybe less. So 2nd and goal from inside the 1, and the Chargers are offsides again. That is 5 consecutive times moving past the line of the scrimmage. And Coach Rich Petrosky's just throwing his arms up right now, telling his defense, you can't get so eager like that, just mental mistakes right now. And the official has come out to talk to Rich Petrosky, and the Chargers are going to call timeout. Rich Petrosky's just got to gather the troops here and let them know you can't be going offsides. You like the effort to not want to give up the touchdown inside the 5-yard line, but at the same time, you have to wait for that ball to be snapped. At this time, we'd like to remind you that tonight's game is brought to you by the fine folks at CleaverSupplements.com. Cleaver Supplements for when genetics are not enough. The first quarter of tonight's game is also brought to you by Meatheads. Meatheads is the official sponsor of St. Joseph Chargers football programming. We provide a full-service, made-to-order dining experience, serving high-quality, fresh, never-frozen ingredients, including 100% Angus beef hamburgers, hand-breaded chicken tenders, and chicken sandwiches, as well as real Idaho potatoes freshly cut every day. Meatheads at 143 North York Street in Elmhurst. And we'd like to thank Meatheads for being a sponsor here on Arena Sportsnet Chicago all season for St. Joseph football programming, this being the 4th game of the year here on ASN Chicago. If this is the first time you've joined us this season, St. Joe coming in at 2-1. They lost their opener to Elmwood Park 22-6, then went on the road and just demolished South Beloit 69-0. And last week on homecoming, they defeated Catalyst Maria 29-0. But facing a tough test here in Chicago Hope, who are right on the doorstep with 2nd and goal inside the 1-yard line. Snap is to Land, QB keeper. He's in. Touchdown, Chicago Hope. And they take the early lead with 7:16 remaining in the first quarter. The key to that drive, Trevor Land running the football. The quarterback is just deadly with the football in his hands, and he executed the read option throughout that drive. A couple of big 3rd down pickups for the Eagles, and now it'll be the extra point attempt for Chicago Hope. Out there is William Zanis, the sophomore, for the PAT. Snap is good. Kick is up and easily through the uprights right down the middle. A very nice kick for a high school kicker, especially a sophomore in William Zanis. So it's 7-0 Chicago Hope with 7:16 remaining in this first quarter. And with some of the scores we've seen this season for the Eagles, we could be looking at a shootout. But certainly, Coach Petrosky has to be a little bit disappointed that some of those 3rd down stops were not made to get the defense off of the field. They had hope in 3rd and long a couple of different times, but each time the Eagles' defense came up with a conversion and they were able to push it into the end zone. But perhaps the most disappointing part of that drive were the penalties near the goal line. 5 consecutive encroachment calls against St. Joseph. So Chicago Hope will kick off with a 7-0 lead on the road. CCL Red opener for St. Joseph. Chicago Hope 3-0 on the season, averaging 44 points per game on offense. However, they do allow over 32 points per game. So it could be an opportunity for St. Joseph's offense against this Hope defense. And as I mentioned at the top of the game, Hope gave up 91 points in the playoff game last year against the eventual state champions, Deer Creek, from Mackinac, Illinois. And Zanis is ready for the kickoff from his own 40-yard line. Back deep for the Chargers. Zach Ford back there. And he'll take it at his own 10-yard line. Ford moving across the field to the far side, running more horizontally, trying to get to the sideline. And he is brought down just inside the 25-yard line of St. Joseph. So the Charger offense will trot out of the field. And thus far this season, St. Joe is averaging nearly 35 points per game offensively. However, last week, that's taking total points. Last week, St. Joe had 2 defensive touchdowns. So Hayden's in the shotgun. 4 receivers out wide. Amir Burgee in the backfield with Hayden. Hayden, a quarterback with good size. Hayden takes the snap, looking to pass, facing pressure right away, but he finds Zach Ford, and it's off his hands. They were looking for him near the 30-yard line over the middle, but he just couldn't quite hold on. And he did take a hit there after that football hit the ground. 7 minutes left here in this first quarter. 2nd down and 10 for the Chargers on their first offensive possession of the night. Caleb Hayden has had 2 touchdown passes in 2 consecutive weeks, 2 against South Beloit and 2 against Catalyst Maria last week. He has trips to his right, 1 receiver to his left, and Amir Burgee with him in the backfield. 2nd down and 10 for the Chargers. Rolling to the right is Hayden, facing pressure, and he will be sacked by 2 separate Eagles players. And near the end of that play, Hayden let go of the football, but the whistle had already been blown. It was a huge loss there on that sack. A couple of different players were in there for the Eagles, including Nick White. So it'll be 3rd and very long. 3rd and about 25 for the Chargers. 4 receivers out wide. Burgee in the backfield with Caleb Hayden. He takes the snap, looking to pass deep. Now he'll just go over the middle here to Malik Mason. It's caught at the 20-yard line, but that is well short of the first down and short of the original line of scrimmage as well. So the Chargers will be forced to punt. Here with just about 6 minutes remaining in the first quarter, they trail at 7-0. Well, against Elmwood Park in week 1, the offensive line had a little bit of trouble protecting Caleb Hayden, and that could be a problem tonight as the Eagles already have racked up a sack. Zach Ford is back to punt for St. Joe. The return man for the Eagles is Neil Campbell. Campbell, the sophomore, who we saw have an impact on that opening drive for the Eagles, and a timeout is called by Chicago Hope head coach Matt Kelly. So early on in this ball game, a couple of different chances for the St. Joe defense to stop the Eagles on their first drive, but they were able to convert a couple of 3rd down situations and put the ball into the end zone. Trevor Land looking impressive thus far at quarterback, running the football and also tossing it. And offensively for the Chargers, they were not able to get back to the original line of scrimmage after the sack. But it had to be at least somewhat encouraging that Malik Mason could get open there on that 3rd down play and pick up some yardage so that the Chargers don't have to punt from their own end zone. Zach Ford will be the punter coming out of this timeout. 5:30 remaining first quarter. 7-0. Chicago Hope leading St. Joseph. Neil Campbell standing at about midfield where he is the return man for Hope. Chicago Hope wearing all white uniforms with some blue stripes. St. Joe in their black uniforms with red stripes. High snap to Ford inside the 5-yard line, but a nice punt. It'll take a bounce past midfield, and it will land. It's still rolling to about the 40-yard line of Chicago Hope. So a solid punt there by Ford.
40-yard line where Chicago Hope will take over.
Well, when you're punting from your own 5 to put it back to the 40 of Chicago Hope, impressive job by Zach Ford, and he'll stay on the field to play safety for the Eagles. And the challenge for St. Joe is to contain this running game. It's coming from a lot of different players for Hope. And quarterback Trevor Land has just been so tough to read on his option plays. Trips to the left, one receiver to the right, one man in the backfield with Land. They'll send Campbell in motion. Campbell fake the handoff to him. Now Land looking to pass, facing some pressure, and he is going to be sacked by a couple of Chargers. Looks like Shamar McDade Bishop may have gotten in on that, along with Kevin Johnston.
Land sacked in the backfield by number 93, Antonio Flournoy.
Anthony Brown may have gotten in there as well. So it'll be second and long, second and about 15 for the Eagles. Land in the shotgun, trips to the left, one receiver to the right, one man in the backfield, and the Chargers have passed the line of scrimmage once again.
Encroachment, St. Joe's, 5-yard penalty.
So that will be the 6th time in this ball game that the St. Joseph defense has been flagged. And that puts the Eagles back at the original line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 with 4.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. 4 receivers out wide for the Eagles. Campbell comes in motion. They'll fake the handoff to him with Land. Land looking for room, and he is brought down just about at the line of scrimmage.
Trevor Land on the keeper again, met by a trio of Chargers.
Looks like Anthony Brown may have been in on it for the Chargers.
Yeah.
So another third down chance for the Chargers defense. 3rd and 10 for the Eagles. 4 receivers out wide, one man in the backfield with Land. Land moves his running back over to the other side of him. Takes the snap, looking to pass, facing some pressure right away. And he is brought down at the 40-yard line. Nice play there.
It again, taken down by number 68, Kyle Johnston. Will bring up 4th down.
As Kyle Johnston was able to make the play for St. Joe. So the Chargers force the Eagles to punt, and it'll be 4th and 10. So a nice job there by St. Joe after giving up a touchdown on the first possession for Chicago Hope. The Chargers defense had shut out opponents for 8 consecutive quarters coming into this ball game. Just about 3 minutes left in the first quarter. Chicago Hope leading 7-0. Zach Ford back to return the punt for the Chargers, standing near the 25-yard line, and it's a fake, but the Chargers are able to snuff it out, and they will take over in Chicago Hope territory.
Fake punch sniffed out by the Chargers. Dylan Castillo on the tackle.
It was Patrick Ross there trying to run it on the fake punt around the right side. The Chargers contained it. Good pursuit by the special teams to make the stop. And St. Joe will start with great field position inside the 45-yard line of Chicago Hope at the 43. It'll be 1st and 10 Chargers. 5 receivers out wide for St. Joe with Caleb Hayden in there at quarterback. Trips to the near side of the field. They send Burgee in motion. They fake the handoff to him. He fumbles, and it's picked up by Chicago Hope. The fumble was recovered by Jaquez Bailey.
Number 4 for the Eagles.
And so a frustrating play for St. Joe after they took over on the fake punt. The exchange was not handled by Burgee, and it's a turnover for St. Joe. The Eagles will take over near midfield. They'll be at their own 49
Sandro.
here with 2:48 left in the first quarter, and they're leading it 7-0. Hope moving right to left on your computer screen as Land will take the snap, hands it off up the middle, and Fain is stopped. Maybe a yard there for LaFabian Fain on the carry. Shamar McDade Bishop was in there on the stop. Great to have Shamar on the Rich Petrosky show last night. Shamar playing linebacker for the first time in his career last week. Shotgun snap to Land, handed off the middle to Fain. Gets maybe a few yards, and he's still fighting his way all the way to the 45-yard line of St. Joseph. Gain of 6 yards for the Eagles. It'll be 3rd and 4 for Chicago Hope. With under 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter, Land in the shotgun. 2 receivers to each side, 1 man in the backfield with him. And St. Joe jumps offsides again. 7th flag on this defense. And that will be an automatic first down for Chicago Hope. Just some mental mistakes for St. Joe's so far defensively, and they give a first down to Chicago Hope. As Trevor Land is in the shotgun, 2 receivers to each side. Derek Williams in the backfield with Land at running back. Land will take the snap, fakes the handoff, facing some pressure, able to step up in the pocket, but he is sacked. And the ball may have come out, and they're going to say Chicago Hope still has it. But a loss of 2 there. Land did well not to lose more than 2 yards there, as he could have been stopped for a loss of over 7 yards, but he was able to step up into the pocket. Still will go down as a sack. As it was Anthony Brown who was able to make the sack for the Chargers. Land in the shotgun, 4 receivers out wide for the Eagles. Williams in the backfield with him. They send Fain in motion. They'll fake the handoff to him. Mason was coming with pressure right away, and that led to an incomplete pass. The Eagles were trying to set up a screen pass there, so they let the line through, but Malik Mason was so fast that the Eagles didn't have time to truly set it up, and Land just threw that ball into the ground. There was a receiver in the area, so no call for intentional grounding there. So it'll be 3rd down and 12 here for the Eagles. 4 receivers out wide, 1 in the backfield with Land at quarterback, and offsides again. That is the 8th offsides penalty on St. Joseph.
Flag on the field is encroachment against St. Joe's. 5-yard penalty remains 3rd down.
So the 3rd down goes from 3rd and 12 to 3rd and 7. A more manageable play for the Eagles with just about 37 seconds left in this first quarter. Land in the shotgun, 4 receivers out wide. Williams in the backfield with him. Land takes the snap, steps up in the pocket, finds a man near the first down marker, and he is slightly short. LaFabian Fain made the catch. So it'll be 4th and about a yard here for the Eagles, and the offense is staying on the field as they're about at the 31-yard line of St. Joe with 15 seconds left first quarter. We'll see if they get this play off before the quarter ends. Now, at about 5 seconds, are they going to get this snap off? They might just wait for the quarter to end, and indeed, they will do that. So we'll flip the ball to the other side of the field. At the end of the first quarter, Chicago Hope leading St. Joseph 7-0 after the rushing touchdown by Trevor Land on the opening drive of the ballgame for the Eagles. And at this time, we'd like to remind you that tonight's game is brought to you by Meatheads in Elmhurst. Meathead serves a fast casual family restaurant with fresh experiences. Meatheads at 143 North York Street in Elmhurst. Meathead's always a delicious, great experience. Glad to have them as a sponsor for St. Joseph Charger football this season on Arena Sportsnet Chicago. Connor Klingon here with you from Langhorst Field at Elmhurst College. Second consecutive home game for the Chargers after they won their homecoming game last week. That was the first time in program history that St. Joseph won 2 consecutive homecoming games. There's been a lot of milestones for the Chargers under head coach Rich Petrosky in just his second season now. Last season, he led the Chargers to their first playoff appearance in school history, their first conference title in school history, and they're looking to defend that tonight, facing a CCL Red Division opponent in Chicago Hope. Hope, a new addition to the conference, and their head coach Matt Kelly very excited to be a part of the CCL. Land is in the shotgun for this 4th down and 1. They've flipped the field, so Hope now moving left to right on your computer screen. Trips to the left for Land, 1 receiver to the near side. They bring a man in motion. It's Campbell, and the Chargers have jumped again. Encroachment again, and this will give a first down to Chicago Hope. And at this point, it is 9 encroachment penalties in total for the Chargers. They have given 45 yards to the Chicago Hope offense, and there a first down is gifted to them. 1st and 10 for Hope at the 25-yard line of St. Joe. 4 receivers out wide for the Eagles. Land takes a snap, looking to pass. He's looking left, going for Campbell in the end zone. He makes the one. No, it just fell out of his hand. It would have been a one-handed catch. He had a hand on it. Boy, that would have been impressive had Campbell been able to hold on there. Hope took their shot on 1st and 10 from the 25. Campbell beat his man, but it was slightly overthrown and nearly a one-handed catch for Campbell. So it'll be 2nd down and 10 for Hope as Land is in the shotgun. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right, 1 man in the backfield with Land. It's Derek Williams. 2nd down and 10, 11:53 remaining in the first half. And it looks like now Chicago Hope may have committed a penalty. Let's see what they call. And indeed, it is a false start there. So finally, one of the movement penalties goes the way of St. Joseph, as Hope will back up 5 yards, and probably a little bit of a Bronx cheer there from the St. Joseph crowd as finally one of those calls goes to chart. Not that the calls were wrong, but for once, Chicago Hope jumped. 4 receivers out wide for the Eagles. Now it'll be 5 as Williams takes the screen pass in the backfield. He's got a little space down the far sideline. He's approaching a first down, and he may have it. We'll see where they spot this football, but a nice job on the screen pass there by running back Derek Williams, just your basic halfback screen. And he was able to take it near the first down. They're going to mark him slightly short, 3rd and less than a yard here for Hope, as they are inside the 20-yard line at about the 17. And an offensive lineman jumps for Hope, so both teams having problems, either encroachment or false starts early in this ball game. You have to remember, still relatively early in the season, 4th game of the year, but at this point both coaching staffs would think that their players would be able to stay more disciplined at the line of scrimmage. 5 receivers out wide, Land on the quarterback draw. Having a tough time finding space, he's brought down in the backfield. So a 3rd down stop for the Chargers. And Land is down. Trevor Land is down for Chicago Hope. And you don't like to see that, especially the way Land was playing. And this is not looking good for Chicago Hope to have your starting quarterback injured here in the second quarter. Training staff is out there for both teams. And also, Coach Rich Petrosky for St. Joseph is out there tending to quarterback Trevor Land. And And you hate to see something like that at any time in the ball game, and especially here in the second quarter with 10:58 remaining. Both teams on a knee. And Land was playing very impressively early in this ball game. He is a captain for Chicago Hope. So not only would it be a tough loss in terms of his talent as a player, but his leadership abilities as just a sophomore, a captain already. And you can see St. Joe, both teams kind of holding their breath at this point, hoping that Trevor Land is all right. As it's 4th down and 6 right now, but that's not really important. The hope is that Trevor Land is all right, and he'll be able to get up from this injury. But at the moment, still laying on his back near about the 20-yard line. And now they have him sitting up. Good to see that. They'll try to bring some help over to get him to the sideline. The injury occurred near the St. Joseph sideline, closer to the St. Joseph sideline, and he'll walk back with some help, not really putting any pressure on those legs. And you just hope the best for him, that Trevor Land will be all right. That will force the backup quarterback for Chicago Hope into the game. With 10:58 remaining in this first half, ball is at the 23-yard line of St. Joseph. It's 4th down and 6 for Chicago Hope. And in this situation, you do wonder, will they try to kick a field goal? It would be 43 yards, probably a bit long for a high school kicker, although Williams and Us looked impressive on his first extra point. Looks like the offense is still huddling up for Hope. And we'll see who they bring in. The backup quarterback, it is Jaden Pankow, the 5'10 freshman, in there at quarterback. So now a freshman having to come in and play perhaps the rest of this ball game for Hope. They do have 4 wide receivers out there. Pankow drops back, and he will be sacked. Well, he's still dragging some St. Joseph players, but eventually brought down and sacked, so that'll be a turnover on downs. As Antonio Flournoy was in there on the sack. But now a Chargers player is on a knee. And you don't like to see this. 2 consecutive plays with players being injured on both teams. And it is Malik Mason who's down for the Chargers. He's able to get up. Looks like he might be holding his arm a little bit. Trying to stretch out that left arm. He was able to get to the sideline under his own power, so that's a positive sign at least for St. Joe. Trying to shake off that left arm, maybe that left hand. So the Chargers offense back on the field, trailing 7-0 with 10:40 left to play here in the second quarter. Chargers defense has come up with 2 consecutive stops. And that's impressive against this Chicago Hope offense that came into the ballgame averaging 44 points a game, put up 70 points in a playoff game against the eventual state champions last year. Caleb Hayden's in the shotgun. 3 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. Hayden looking left, going deep for Zach Ford. He has him, and it's just overthrown at about the 40-yard line of Chicago Hope. And if that's on target, it is 6 points for the Chargers. Ford had beaten the corner out there for Chicago Hope, Eric Mullen. So a good play call there for the Chargers, but just slightly overthrown by Hayden. But you'd rather have an overthrow than an underthrow. Just an incompletion rather than an interception. 2nd down and 10 with 10:34 to play. Trips to the right for St. Joe. One receiver to the near side of the field on the left. Hayden looking to pass. Moving around, rolling right. He's going to chuck it deep, looking for a man. There's a couple of Chargers down there, and eventually making the catch is Tim Shannon past midfield. There is a flag down. A flag is down on the play. We'll have to see what the call is here. It's pass interference against the defense. The Chargers will decline that. So a long pass play for the Chargers puts the ball in Chicago Hope territory. There were 2 Chargers receivers there. Malik Mason and also Tim Shannon were there. But officials still explaining something. They're indeed signaling pass interference defense. The penalties declined, as it would have been a 15-yarder, but the Chargers certainly gained more than that there. 10:22 remaining. 1st and 10 for St. Joe, who trails 7-0. Trips to the right, one receiver to the left for Hayden. Bergie in the backfield with him. Hayden takes a snap. He'll hand it off to Bergie. Bergie looking to cut to the right, trying to get to the sideline. Has a little bit of space, maybe got 2 yards there as he was pushed out of bounds.
Amir Bergie on the carry, taken out of bounds after a short gain.
Well, it could be tough for the Chargers to run tonight against the defensive line of Chicago Hope. Some big bodies out there for Hope. So it'll be 2nd down and 8 for St. Joe. Trips to the right for the Chargers, and now encroachment. And that will go against Chicago Hope and move the football up 5 yards. Both teams struggling with those penalties before the snap. So it'll be 2nd down and 3 for the Chargers from the 41-yard line of Chicago Hope. St. Joe on a drive here. Hayden in the shotgun, trips to the right. Zach Ford to the near side of the field. Left, Bergie in the backfield. Hayden. And a penalty is called. This could go against St. Joe. Let's see what the call is. Indeed, false start against St. Joseph. So we'll go back to where we were on the previous play. 2nd down and 8. The 2 penalties kind of negate each other. 10-11 remaining here in the first half. It's Hayden's in the shotgun. 3 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. They hand off to Bergie. Bergie has some space. He's got room, makes a cut. He is near the 35-yard line. A flag is thrown near the end. Let's see what the call is here. Oh, it's holding against the offense. So the run that would have picked up a 1st down will come back. And Bergie had plenty of space there, but it must have been created by the holding penalty. That'll bring the ball back 10 yards. At least holding was the initial signal. And let's see what's going on here. They are indeed marching St. Joe back after the holding call, and officially now being signaled. That'll put the Chargers back at about the 45-yard line of Chicago Hope. So it'll be 2nd down and long. 2nd and about 12 here. Or rather 22 for the Chargers, as Bergie trying to make some cuts. And he's brought down behind the line of scrimmage, lost 2 more yards. So it'll be 3rd and very long. Chargers currently at their own 43-yard line, trying to get to the 38-yard line of Chicago Hope. So it is 3rd down and 19 for St. Joe with 9:20 remaining in the first half. Hayden's in the shotgun, 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Bergie in the backfield. Hayden looking to pass. He's looking right, now looks back left. Finds Zach Ford, but it's out of his hands. It'll be 4th down.
Hayden's pass intended for Zach Ford falls incomplete. Will bring up a 4th down for the Chargers.
Well, even if Ford had made the catch there, he was only at the 45-yard line of St. Joseph, nowhere near the first down marker. That was at the 38 of Chicago Hope. So St. Joe will be forced to punt on 4th and 17 with 9:08 remaining in the first half. Zach Ford is back to punt. Chargers just haven't been able to get the offense quite going yet. They were in Hope territory there, but weren't able to convert. Here's the punt from Ford, and this will go out of bounds at about the 32-yard line of Chicago Hope. Oh, they'll actually mark it at the 29.
32-yard line where
They'll move it up to the 32 as the official overran it a bit there initially. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Hope at their own 32-yard line. But remember, they now have a freshman quarterback in there in Jared Pankow. After the injury to Trevor Land, that's the main story of this ballgame so far. Trevor Land, on that first drive, he was the catalyst to the touchdown for Chicago Hope, but he comes out with an injury, and that forces the freshman quarterback into action for the Eagles. Pankow is in the shotgun, 2 men in the backfield with him, and 3 receivers out wide for Hope. 1 man to the left of Pankow and 1 behind him. They'll hand it off here, and maybe a gain of 3 there, possibly 4.
Fabian Fain on the carry.
It was Fain taking the carry for Chicago Hope.
Kyle Johnston on the tackle.
It'll be 2nd down and about 6 here for Hope. With 8.5 minutes remaining in the first half, Pankow in the shotgun, 2 men in the backfield with him, 3 receivers out wide. Pankow takes the snap, hands it off up the middle. That stopped right away. Malik Mason was the first man in there for the Chargers, making the tackle for loss.
Antonio Flournoy and Zarel Mason in on the tackle.
And Antonio Flournoy was also in there for the Chargers. So that'll make it 3rd down and about 8 yards here for Hope. Under 8 minutes remaining here in the first half. Chargers looking for a big stop on defense. Pankow in the shotgun. Man comes in motion. It is Fain. They'll hand it off to Fain, moving towards the near sideline. He is brought down by a couple of Chargers. Zach Ford was there first. So another 3rd down stop for St. Joe. And this defense has stepped up tonight. A Chicago Hope offense that came in averaging 44 points per game. They've been held to 7 with 7 minutes remaining here in the second quarter. Granted, they have certainly been slowed down by the injury to starting quarterback Trevor Land because he looked impressive on the first drive for Hope. Out to punt is the sophomore William Zanis. And Zach Ford will be back to return for the Chargers. We've seen Ford do some damage in the punt return game this season. He's standing inside his own 35-yard line at about the 34 of St. Joseph. Punt will be from the 36-yard line of Chicago Hope. Zanis, it's a high punt. Ford's not going to want any piece of this. It'll take a bounce for St. Joseph and be down at about the 34 of St. Joseph.
33-yard line where the Chargers will take over. Just to see which one. Yeah.
Hey, Charger fans, don't forget to stop by Meatheads at 143 North York Street in Elmhurst and enjoy our fast casual family restaurant that serves fresh experiences. Meatheads at 143 North York Street in Elmhurst. And Meatheads is the official sponsor of St. Joseph Chargers football programming on Arena Sportsnet Chicago. Hayden's in the shotgun, 4 receivers out wide. make that 5 now as Berge is lining up a receiver. Now he'll trot on over to the backfield. No, he's still in the slot. Hayden looking to his right. He'll roll right, facing some pressure, chucking it downfield, and it's intercepted by the Eagles. Justin Adams has it, and he has it on a return down the far sideline, and he is inside the 25-yard line of St. Joseph.
By number 6, Justin Adams.
Well, Hayden was throwing on the run, didn't get quite as much juice on that football as he'd like. Underthrown there, and the defense for the Eagles playing opportunistic football as Justin Adams makes the interception. Another sophomore for Chicago Hope. Plenty of sophomores making an impact for the Eagles as they'll have 1st and 10 in great field position.
Eagles will take over possession at the St. Joe's 22.
Football is spotted at the 22-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10 for Hope. They lead it 7-0 over St. Joseph with 6:24 remaining in the first half. Pankow, the freshman quarterback, out there for the Eagles. 2 men in the backfield with him. And 3 receivers out wide. Pankow takes the snap. He'll hand it off to Fain up the middle, and Fain has some room, and he is near the first down marker. A gain of about 9 there, straight up the gut of the St. Joe defense.
Anthony Brown in on the tackle.
So it'll be 2nd down and 1 for Chicago Hope. 6 minutes remaining in this first half. And you can see that head coach Matt Kelly has reined back the offense for this freshman quarterback, Pankow. 2nd down and short, low snap. Fain given the handoff. He's got it to about the 5-yard line, and he has the first down.
Fain on the carry, a plethora of Chargers and on the tackle. Result of the play is a first down inside the St. Joe's 10.
So it'll be 1st and goal for Chicago Hope for the 2nd time in this ball game. First time they were in this situation, they were able to punch it in with quarterback Trevor Land, but now Pankow is out there. 3 wide receivers out wide, 2 men in the backfield with Pankow. That seems to be the formation they're going to with the freshman QB. Williams and Fain in the backfield. They'll hand it off to Fain up the middle. Fain is into the end zone. Flags are down. We'll see what the call is. Touchdown is signaled.
However, there are 2 flags.
Let's see what this flag is for, who it's against. Let's see the call here. Looks like it's a legal motion against Chicago Hope, so that will negate the touchdown. Big break for St. Joseph, as that will push Hope back 5 yards as well.
5-yard penalty against the Eagles. It will remain first down.
So still 1st and goal from about the 11-yard line of St. Joe. Pankow in the shotgun, 2 backs with him, 1 receiver to the far side, 2 to the near side of the field. Pankow takes the snap, hands it up to Fain up the middle. He's trying to carry a Charger defender, makes a spin move inside the 5, still pushing, and finally the whistle is blown as Fain showing some impressive physicality for the Eagles. He's listed at 5'9", 174, but he's playing bigger than that tonight. As it's 2nd and goal with 5 minutes remaining in the first half. Chicago Hope already with a 7-0 lead, looking to add to that. Pankow in the shotgun inside the 5-yard line. They'll hand it off to Fain. Fain is brought down almost immediately.
Fain once again stopped by number 93, Antonio Flournoy.
As Antonio Flournoy was in there to make the stop. It'll be 3rd and goal. A chance for the Charger defense to step up here. If they can make a couple of stops, I wouldn't be surprised to see Matt Kelly go for it if it does end up getting to that 4th down, as they ruled that a loss. So it'll be 3rd and goal from about the 4-yard line. Just over 4 minutes remaining in the first half. Pankow in the shotgun, 3 receivers out wide, 2 men in the backfield. They'll bring Campbell in motion, and a flag is thrown.
Flags on the field.
Which side moved? That is the question. And it's encroachment against St. Joseph. We saw this issue the last time Chicago Hope was near the goal line, so that'll make it half the distance to the goal. It'll put the ball at about the 2. Third and goal for the 2-yard line for Chicago Hope, already with the touchdown lead. Just about 4 minutes remaining in this first half. Pankow in the shotgun, 2 backs in the backfield with him. Eric Green and Derek Williams out there, 3 receivers wide, and a flag is thrown again. Looks like they are pointing towards the defense. And it is encroachment against the Chargers, half the distance to the goal once again. Well, outside of these encroachment penalties, the defense has been doing pretty well since that first drive, but the penalties are just unacceptable as Hope is near the goal line here. Pankow in the shotgun. Campbell comes in motion. They fake the handoff to him. Quarterback sneak with Pankow. He'll take it in for the touchdown. And that will make it 13-0. So the freshman quarterback read that play perfectly, faked the sweep, and was able to take it in the end zone to make it 13-0 Eagles. And so now they come in for the PAT attempt. As turnover leads to points for Chicago Hope as they took the interception to the 22-yard line. A 22-yard drive ends with a quarterback run for a touchdown from Jaden Pankow. Extra point attempt from William Zanis. Made the first one easily. Snap is good, hold is good, kick is up, and that is straight through the uprights. 14-0 Chicago Hope with 3:35 remaining in the first half. And at this time, we'd like to remind you that the second quarter of tonight's game is brought to you by CleaverSupplements.com. Cleaver Supplements for when genetics are not enough.
St. Joseph High School is also proud to be partners with Hinsdale Orthopedics as our official.
So early in the ball game, some undisciplined play from the St. Joseph defense in terms of penalties. But when they do not jump offsides and jump past that line of scrimmage, they've been able to do a fine job containing this Hope offensive attack once Trevor Land came out of the ballgame. That's been a huge loss for Chicago Hope. The question is, can the offense for the Chargers get them back into this ballgame? They have had a couple of big plays as now a penalty flag is thrown before the kickoff. Let's see what this is. Could it be a personal foul? And it's a sideline warning against St. Joseph. So the next time that the sideline is flagged, that'll be a 15-yard personal foul. And Rich Petrosky asking for an explanation here from the officials. And now let's see what is going on here. Coach Petrosky still seeking some sort of explanation for this call. Hey, Charger fans, don't forget to stop by Meatheads at 143 North York Street in Elmhurst and enjoy our fast casual family restaurant that serves fresh experiences. Meatheads, always an excellent dining experience right down the road here from Elmhurst College. It's a bit of a warm night for September 15th. It was a hot day in the 80s. And here in the press box at Elmhurst College, no air conditioning, so it's getting a little bit steamy in here. And could have a slight effect on the players. It's not quite as warm outside, but it is humid out there and not your typical fall night. And another flag is thrown. Another flag is thrown. And this will probably go against St. Joseph for the sideline again. So unsportsmanlike conduct is called against the Chargers, and now Chicago Hope will kick off. The football has been moved into St. Joseph territory. The 45-yard line of St. Joseph is where this kickoff will take place from. So it should be an easy touchback here for Hope, unless they want to play this differently to try to pin the Chargers deep in their own territory. Hope will kick off from the 45-yard line of St. Joe. William Zanas is the kicker. .335 left here in the first half, 14-0 Chicago Hope. Zanas's kick is into the end zone for a touchback.
On the touchback, the Chargers will take over at their own.
And so after the 2 penalties for the sideline warning and then the unsportsmanlike conduct, it results in a touchback
As halftime nears, be sure to visit
for Chicago Hope.
located at the west side of the field on the home sideline.
Couple of high school football scores from what we can find on IHSA.org. 22-0, Lincoln Way East defeated Sandburg. 1st and 10 for St. Joseph. 4 wide receivers out there for Hayden. Bergie in the backfield with him. He'll take the snap, hands it off to Bergie, and he makes a couple of spins to at least get something. Maybe a yard for Bergie.
Bergie on the carry.
So it'll be 2nd down and 9 for the Chargers from their own 21. Trips to the right of Hayden. 1 receiver to the left is Zach Ford. Bergie in the backfield. Hayden looking left, facing some pressure, has to step up, and he'll go down. He's sacked and he fumbles. It's recovered by Chicago Hope at the 5-yard line of St. Joseph.
Number 55, Reggie Young for the Eagles.
Reggie Young came up with the recovery for Chicago Hope after the sack. And what an opportunity for Hope, taking over inside the 10 of the Chargers with under 3 minutes left in this first half. Chicago Hope controlling the time of possession battle, aided by 2 turnovers from St. Joseph, the interception, and now the fumble. As the ball is spotted at about the 7-yard line. Pankow in the shotgun, 3 receivers wide, 2 in the backfield for Hope. Pankow takes snap. He'll hand off to Fain, and he is crushed in the backfield by who else? Shamar McDade Bishop. Oh, my goodness. Well, Rich Petrosky talks about keeping the train rolling. Shamar McDade Bishop looks straight like a train, coming at full speed into the backfield, making the tackle for loss. He has laid some big hits this season, and that was another one. Whew, that was something, and that really got the crowd on their feet here at Langhorst Field. So it'll be 2nd and goal from outside the 10. Timeout is called by St. Joseph with 2:26 remaining in the first half. Try to find some other scores in the IHSA. Chicago Hubbard won 40-6 over Chicago Good. Solorio Academy, also in Chicago, defeated Chicago Vocational 47-6. Decatur St. Teresa defeated Macon Meridian 51-7. That's the score at halftime. St. Teresa up 51-7 on Meridian. Here tonight, it's 14-0. Chicago Hope leading St. Joe. They'll have another chance to score here. But a big loss there as the ball is spotted at about the 13-yard line. Glenbard South. That's rather volleyball. Defeated Glenbard East. Just updating a couple of other scores. 2nd down and goal from the 13-yard line for Hope. 4 receivers out wide. Pankow in the shotgun. Derek Williams with him in the backfield. Pankow takes a snap, looking to his right, going for the end zone for Campbell, and it's in and out of his hands. Well, unlike the last time Campbell had a shot at a touchdown pass, this one did touch both of his hands. He missed out on a one-handed catch earlier. You can't blame him too much, but that one he should have had for the touchdown, and he was wide open in the near corner of the end zone. But he may have pushed off as the coaching staff for St. Joe is not happy. No flag was thrown. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 13. 4 receivers out there for Hope. Pankow in the shotgun. Derek Williams with him in the backfield. 2:19 remaining in the first half. 14-0 Chicago Hope leading St. Joseph. Pankow takes a snap. He'll hand it off to Williams. And he is stopped after a short gain, maybe 2 yards there. So it'll be 4th and goal from the 11-yard line. And it's decision time for Chicago Hope as they call a timeout with 2:07 remaining in the first half. Another score update for you on the football side. Chicago Collins defeated Chicago Foreman 14-0. And not too many other scores being reported here on the IHSA website. But we'll maybe have some more updates for you later on in the evening. First CCL game of the season for St. Joseph. They were 2-1 in non-conference play, losing to Elmwood Park 22-6 in the season opener. Defeated South Beloit 69-0 on the road in their second game, and last week beat Catalyst Maria 29-0 on homecoming. Chicago Hope is coming out there with the offense on the field, and it's 4th and goal from the about 11-yard line. Big moment in this ball game for St. Joseph defensively to keep it to a 2-possession game. Pankow in the shotgun, 4 receivers out wide, and a man jumped. A receiver moved before the snap, and it is a false start. That will push Hope back 5 yards. Both teams have been making mistakes in terms of moving before the snap, as now it's 4th down and goal from the 16-yard line for Hope. 4 receivers out wide. Williams in the backfield with the freshman quarterback Pankow, who came in for the injured Trevor Land, and a timeout is going to be taken by Chicago Hope. And that is the last timeout for Hope. Little update on some history for you right now. The Kansas City Royals leading the Cleveland Indians 4-3 in the middle of the 8th inning. Cleveland with a 22-game winning streak on the line there in Cleveland. So if you're going with a Arena Sportsnet audio, maybe you want to check out on the screen a little bit of baseball with the Indian streak on the line, trailing to Kansas City in the 8th inning 4-3. White Sox currently trailing the Tigers 2-1 in the top of the 8th inning. Current situation in our ball game, 14-0 Chicago Hope leading St. Joseph. 2:04 left in the first half. It's 4th down and goal from the 16-yard line of St. Joe for Chicago Hope.
As play resumes, it's 4th and goal from the 16.
And it looks like the field goal unit is coming onto the field. We have seen William Zanis hit a couple of extra points. The holder is Keyshawn Kreft. Let's see if the sophomore kicker Zanis can hit this with 2:04 to play. It's a 33-yarder. High snap, kick is up, and it is no good. Wide left. Just missed to the left there, did Zanis. St. Joe will take over with 1:59 left in the half from their own 20-yard line. So a chance for a 2-minute drill here for the Chargers, who do have 1 timeout remaining. We've seen they have the capability to send receivers deep. They'll try to do that again here tonight. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Hayden Back to pass with 5 wide receivers rolling right, facing pressure, and he's just going to run with this one. Plenty of space. He's all the way out to the 40 of St. Joe, and he's out to the 45-yard line. Make it the 47. A 27-yard run for Caleb Hayden and a first down.
Jordan Garcia, number 20, on the tackle for the Eagles.
A good chance here for St. Joe. 1:48 remaining. Clock will run after the first down marker is set. Hayden in the shotgun, 5 wide out there. Hayden looking to his left, throwing over the middle, incomplete. Nobody there for the Chargers. Some of the St. Joe receivers wanted a flag call. It's not going to be there. 1:32 remaining in the first half. Second down and 10 for the Chargers, who trail 14-0. Well, we knew Caleb Hayden had some speed, and he used his legs well there to pick up that first down. But second and 10, 5 wide for St. Joe, with Hayden the quarterback. 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Hayden takes the snap, facing a little bit of pressure, steps up, looking to the near side of the field, going for Desmond McPhail. He tried to make the catch near the 20-yard line, but it was just out of his hands as he jumped up. So it'll now be 3rd and 10. And it looks like Shamar McDade Bishop is down for St. Joe. And that would be quite a loss for the Chargers if McDade Bishop were to be out. 1:25 left here in the first half. St. Joe's trailing this 14-0. Well, we already saw a very crucial injury in this ballgame as starting quarterback for Chicago Hope, Trevor Land, went down early on in the second quarter. That forced freshman quarterback Jaden Pankow to come into the game. But Shamar McDade Bishop, with everything he does, and now he's up on his feet. Good to see that. He's walking back to the sideline under his own power. You know, it is a bit of a hot night. Cramps are a possibility. You never know, but you hope that he's all right. And he'll very quickly get that Gatorade bottle on the sidelines. So it's 3rd down and 10 for the Chargers with 1:25 left in the first half. They have 1 timeout remaining. Hope has no timeouts. But certainly the Chargers would like to go in the locker room cutting this lead in half. They currently trail it 14-0. 5 wide for St. Joe with Hayden the quarterback in the shotgun. Hayden takes snap, facing quick pressure, throws a screen to Malik Mason. Mason is stopped for a loss. Maybe stopped at the line of scrimmage, so it'll be 4th down and 10.
Forward progress will get him a short gain.
4th and 10 at the 47. What will the Chargers do here with a minute left?
4th and 10 Chargers.
And the Chargers were trying to get a timeout call. Clock is still running. They have not been granted the timeout. So there's 50 seconds left, and the offense is on the field with a 4th and 10. From their own 47, they're going to take a shot downfield with 40 seconds, showing confidence. 5 wide receivers out there from the 47. Just about 30 seconds left in the half. Have to be careful here, and this is just going to be a delay of game, so the Chargers maybe just trying to give a little bit more room to Zach Ford on this punt. It'll be 4th down and 15, or are they going to punt it? They are not. They're keeping the offense on the field with 27 seconds remaining in this first half. Chargers are on their own 42-yard line, facing a 4th and 10. And the punt team now is out there as Zach Ford, the punter, is out to kick on the 4th down and 15. Oh, and the Chargers having some trouble with a substitute, and a flag's thrown. The flag is for delay of game against St. Joe. That'll push them 5 yards further back to their own 37-yard line.
This is embarrassing. This is an absolute embarrassment.
So it'll be 4th down and about 20 as Zach Ford is out to punt. And another whistle blows for a flag. What is this for? Let's find out. Let's see the call. Pointing towards the St. Joseph sideline. And it is going to be a unsportsmanlike conduct, another sideline penalty against St. Joseph. That'll push them 15 yards further back, or rather 5.
5-yard walk-off remains 4th down.
So just another sideline warning made it a 5-yard penalty. So they will be punting from the 32-yard line with 27 seconds left in this first half.
I'll ask Mike.
Ford, the punter, facing some pressure, might have been partially deflected. It's a short kick. It'll take a bounce at the 48-yard line of Chicago Hope, and they'll take over at the 46 of St. Joseph's with 19 seconds left in this first half. This gives a chance for Chicago Hope to take a shot down the field, but they do have that freshman quarterback, may not want to risk an interception here. They do have a 14-0 lead, but St. Joseph will take the ball after halftime. In what has been a frustrating first half for the Chargers, trailing by 2 possessions. Offense has had trouble. Defense with some penalties all over the place. As Pankow comes back onto the field, the freshman quarterback for the Eagles, 4 receivers wide. Derek Williams, the running back, in the backfield with Pankow. Neil Campbell, the receiver to the near side. And another flag is thrown. This is going to be delay of game against Chicago Hope. And I mentioned the St. Joseph penalties, but Chicago Hope has been having trouble in that department as well. Not nearly as many as the Chargers, but still a significant amount. First down and 15 from the 49-yard line for Hope. 4 receivers out wide for Pankow with 19.6 seconds to play. And a receiver jumps. This is going to be a false start. We've seen that a couple times. Kind of looking like Canadian football or the Arena Football League, but in high school football in the state of Illinois, you cannot get an early jump as a receiver. Actually, in most examples of American football, you can't do that, but we've seen it a couple of times from Hope as the ball is at their own 44 now with 17.7 to play in the first half. Pankow takes the snap, looking to pass, going deep, may have a man down there on the far sideline, but it's just a bit overthrown. They were looking for Treville Hilton, the sophomore wide receiver. So just under 12 seconds remaining in the first half as they lead 14-0. Maybe trying to add to their lead with a long touchdown pass here. It's at their own 44-yard line. Pankow sends Williams in motion. And they're looking deep. They've got a man open. Oh, no, it's caught at the 25 as it was almost intercepted by Amir Bergy. But it was caught by LaFabian Fain at the 25-yard line. It was Amir Bergy kind of came out of nowhere. And 5 seconds left. No timeouts for Hope. They're going to have to spike this football if they want to have a chance. 3 seconds left. Flag is thrown. Looks like this could be encroachment against St. Joseph.
Encroachment, St. Joe's, 5-yard penalty.
Once again, encroachment against the Chargers, and you wonder, would Chicago Hope give the field goal kicker a chance here from about the 22-yard line? And the biggest advantage to Hope is that stops the clock with 2 seconds to play. They'll have a chance to go for the end zone here from the 22-yard line. Pankow in the shotgun. Trips to his left, one receiver to the right. They send a man in motion. Pankow takes the snap, looking to his right, steps up in the pocket, throwing for the end zone. Ford is there in coverage, and he deflects it out of bounds. That will end the first half with the score, Chicago Hope 14 and St. Joseph 0 in their CCL opener. The big story, starting quarterback Trevor Land could be out for the rest of this ballgame, most likely will, as freshman quarterback Jaden Pankow has come into the game for Chicago Hope. Defensively, the Chargers have been able to limit the offense a bit for Chicago Hope, but they are dominating in the time of possession category. The Chargers will look to change that in the second half, and we'll have it right here for you on Arena Sportsnet Chicago.